I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular town board meeting for December 30th, 2019. I'd ask everybody to please turn off cell phones and electronic devices, and assisted listening devices are available for the hearing impaired. I would ask everybody to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I'm going to ask for a moment of silent reflection, but I want everybody to keep in your thoughts and prayers. We lost an employee this month, Barb Joseph. Barb Joseph was with the town for 45 years. She was still actively employed with the town when she passed away. And just to give you a perspective, she was hired on September 16th, 1974. So please keep Barb and her family in your thoughts and prayers. Moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Before we move on to the agenda approval, we have some special guests here tonight that are here because tonight is Rob Morial's last night as our town councilman. So we got together and we gave you a little card, and it's a picture of this fine board that I'm sure you're going to appreciate. And Rob, we included some pictures of streetlights in there.
Oh, okay.
I think we'd like to go ahead and present it to you, get one picture together down in front. Would you like to get a picture? Yeah. Yeah. Come on, family. I'll let you guys choose. I'm not going to do this one. Stay up here. Stay up here.
Oh.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. We're all down in front. We have the Lewiston Qantas here want to make a presentation to us, so I ask them to step forward. We have a $1,500 check in here. There we go. Awesome. $1,500 for the Lewiston ice rink from our Lewiston Qantas, and we really appreciate it. Great. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. 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 Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for moving us up in the direction. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. I just want to say the Qantas do a great job, and I appreciate everything they do for our community, and you know, it's what keeps our community strong. So I thank you guys. Thank you a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. See you. Good night. Okay, on to regular business. So the agenda approval. We have an item on the agenda under my legal health coverage non-union employees that we're going to go into executive session for. We can speak briefly on it, but Tom, that's correct. We want to go into executive session.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, it's related to ongoing union negotiations has resulted in this. So if anyone has
Which union?
Excuse me?
Which of the unions?
The office and parks group, Teamsters group, but this is a little bit different. It's not directly relative to their group. It stems from negotiations that
And there's a chance we will take action on that, correct?
I expect some action taken
Okay.
afterwards, yeah.
Okay.
One way or the other, I'm gonna ask for a motion.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to add to the agenda?
Just comments on the ice rink and Rob.
Okay.
And to switch my liaison with Jacoby, I didn't go to the meeting. John's gonna do the modern site plan review. Okay, so we're gonna switch that to Jacoby.
Okay.
And also, Jason's here from Lacerda. Like to add that, I don't know when we can put him in, but
As soon as we approve the agenda, real quick, we'll do that. Anything else?
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Go ahead, we'll do it before we get to the resident statements.
okay. Hey, Jason, you wanna come up to the mic?
Hi, Jason, how are you?
Great, how about
Good,
you guys?
good.
Nice to see you.
Jason is here from NYSERDA, which stands for the Clean Energy Community Program, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, basically. And we've done some, what you would call benchmarking. How do I want to say it? We've done some.
So, the town overall has completed 4 out of 10 what's called high impact actions through the NYSERDA Clean Energy Communities Program. All the actions are geared towards helping the town measure and track and reduce energy consumption. So the town in June, I'm just gonna kind of go into a little bit of what I
Yeah,
have to
go
say
for
here.
it. Go for it.
Because, the town in June got the designation, which essentially allows the town to score better on grant applications for DEC and NYSERDA related programs. Rob was the point person that I worked with through this over the last few years, and through the process, we did a few things that really helped the town reduce energy consumption and ultimately helped save thousands of dollars from being spent on energy-related expenditures, including energy benchmarking, which tracks all of the energy consumption at municipal facilities, this building included. And through that benchmarking, we were able to look back at some of the lighting upgrades and some of the work that the town has done over the years to show that in the town buildings from 2015 to 2018, you guys reduced energy consumption by about 37% of your greenhouse gas emissions were reduced through just lighting upgrades. The town also recently purchased 2 electric vehicles and installed a vehicle charging station. Rob and the town board have been in talks about getting the LED street lighting changed out. I'm going to assume that that's what the picture was that was in Rob's car, right?
Yeah,
Some of the
right.
street lighting. Rob's really taken a big lead and played a big part in getting some of that work done here in the town. And so I'm really here just to thank Rob for the work that he's done over the past few years with me, and congratulate the town. I wish I had something to actually present to you, which would be much better. We're going to have something like that in 2020, but Rob won't be here, so I wanted to make sure I was here to
Well, we appreciate that.
to give him the.
Well, just to let you know, when I came in tonight at about 5 for the meeting, there was a car from Massachusetts all packed up with all their Christmas travel stuff, and he's laying in this car. He had it charged up.
Yeah.
How long does it take to charge a car like that?
Well, it depends on. For about an hour, you can get 20 to 30 miles, depending. There's a few different types of charging stations. There's one called a DC fast charge where you can get a full charge on an hour. You guys have a level 2, which gets you about 20 to 30 miles per hour of charging. But your town facilities, I believe the code enforcement team uses them. So if you get an overnight charge, that's going to be a full charge, and that reduces all their.
We've
their
reduced.
vehicle
Oh yeah,
miles
as far as the
traveled,
gas,
right?
we've minimal in in the assessor's office and all that. But I was just curious because he was out there, and I think it was a Tesla.
Right, there are some stations out and about that have the quick charge.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, we appreciate you coming in, and we appreciate all the work Rob did on the NYSERDA work. So.
And I hope to be able to work with you guys in the future. 2020, there's promise of new funding opportunities, and the program will continue. So, Rob's work is laying the groundwork for hopefully some future things to come. So
Great.
thank you guys for your
Well,
Thank you.
One thing before you leave, the new grant applications, they're coming out in May. Does NYSERDA put out their grants?
So this consolidated funding application, CFA, that's through the New York Department of Environmental Conservation. That's not part of the NYSERDA grant. NYSERDA is releasing a new version of the Clean Energy Communities Program, which I am the point person for folks in Erie and Niagara counties, municipalities to work on that. We'll be kicking off a new version of that program in June.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
we'll have a launch, and folks from this. From
Well, you
Lewiston.
got a contact with Tim, because he's
Yeah.
worked with me on all
Tim and Steve, I'll
Steve
definitely
also.
keep you guys in the loop as
On
far
all
as
the
new
projects.
opportunities coming up too. So.
Yeah, and the streetlights, I got a email from Grid. They're supposed to start next week. 530, I think, streetlights are gonna go to LED. So,
And just to give folks in the room an idea, the town of Colden, which is in southern Erie County, they changed out and converted their street lights. They had about 230 lights. That conversion paid off the project in 9 months.
Wow.
So this project should probably do the same for you and get paid back within a year or so. And then all the savings will
come back to the town.
So,
Beautiful.
great work. Thank you guys for your
All
time.
right.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Resident statements. We have nobody that signed up. Would anybody like to speak on anything? Okay. Moving ahead to department head statements. We will start with Tim Masters. Anything, Tim?
Do you want me to do the old business now, or?
No, we'll come back to
Okay,
that.
no, I don't have anything for that.
Okay, Jackie, you're on the agenda. Anything, Bill Conrad, Deputy Supervisor?
Not right now.
No, okay. Bob,
No,
anything?
agenda.
Okay, Jeff Ritter, anything? Dave? Mike Dashino? You wanna talk about those 2 vouchers though? We could probably talk about those. Are they, the vouchers are? No, they aren't. So, Mike came to me, we have 2 purchase orders. One is for seal coat at Fletcher Road, the parking lot, and bike trail. So, do you want to refer to this? Do you want this to refer to it?
Sure, town board.
Here.
I don't need that.
You don't need that? Okay, go ahead.
Steve had asked the town board to take a vote on that. We weren't accepting the lowest bid on that one. I put in the packet itself, the reasoning for that. The lowest bid came in well less than half of the next group of bids. When we do the research on it, their actual bid price is basically under the material value of the actual job. So it kind of raised a red flag to say, oh, you know, they didn't look at the job, or, you know, something's up there. If you do the actual math on it, it's like 650,000 square feet that we're seal coating. The material that they used is, I want to say it was like 85 cents a square foot. Just the math didn't add up on it. Didn't feel like that was a responsible bid. Again, I gave you the information on it, take a look at it, and you guys can weigh in. So I went to the next bid, which was much higher than the bid that we're rejecting.
Yeah, the other 2 bids were literally $1 off. So,
But did we learn our lesson with the trees?
well, I think that's where Mike's getting at.
Yeah.
So,
So the material cost of the job alone is more than this person had bid for. He told us what material he was using. The material he's actually using isn't really material that when we first looked at the job we thought would be suitable for it. We really don't have a lot of background on the person that bid this out to begin with. It just doesn't seem like he walked the job, but he took a good hard look at it. Seal coating at Fletcher Park with the stripe and everything, there's areas that are gonna need a lot more than 1 coat. I mean, it's you know, it hasn't been seal coated in quite a while.
and Tom, I sent that over to you, and you had a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I did. Basically, the town's procurement policy requires the board to make that determination by board vote if you're gonna go with something that's not the lowest bid. And there just has to be a compelling reason, which is why Mr. Dashnow is here explaining that compelling reason to you now. But that determination not to go with the lowest, bid is ultimately up to the town board to make that.
So I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion to go with groundwork, seal coating, and paving at $8,499.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Can we have some discussion?
Sure.
Is it a huge difference in that?
The bids are on the second page.
Yeah, you showed it to me
Yeah,
previously, I
yeah.
know we looked at it.
The other 2 bids were $1 off, and this one was
You mean the second and the third?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem awfully suspicious that that one's so much lower.
Yeah.
And Tom, you don't have any problem with this?
No, I don't. Your procurement policy, I'll quote it for you for a second. It says exceptions may be made in the event that the lowest offer is not the lowest responsible bidder, or if there is a compelling reason to award the contract to another, such as there is a significant and measurable difference of quantity or quality between the lowest offer and the lowest acceptable offer. So given what Mr. Dashnow has set forward in terms of the materials, and the logic of how the acceptable material per square footage doesn't make any sense. You know, to me, it would potentially be a compelling reason for the board to go ahead and accept one of the other offers.
Okay. I believe we are,
voted
yeah.
aye then.
Yeah, we are, okay. So, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. And then the other one, the John Deere, you just wanna, real quick?
Yeah, that's a tractor we're looking to purchase into our equipment line. It's a little bit bigger than a tractor that we own. It's gonna give us a few more job options that we can do, specifically digging. It comes with the excavator on the back of it. It's on state bid, but it's something the town board has to approve.
And that's for a John Deere 2025R compact tractor with excavating attachment. It's a landscaping grounds, it's a New York State landscaping grounds bid, and it's for $22,971.48. And that's in the recreation budget, correct, Jackie?
Yeah, that's my
For
question.
2019.
For 2019, yes. So,
Move for approval.
Second.
a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thanks. Dave, you said you were good. Jeff, good? Okay.
See, we skipped the minutes? No, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, I did not.
Sorry.
Donna? Or Carol?
Carol, everything?
Yeah, you all have the letter from, the Mighty Niagara Half Marathon Hospice Staff Run.
Yeah.
You just need to approve authorizing the supervisor to sign the letter to the DOT.
This is done every year anyway.
Yeah,
Yes.
September, they wanna hold the race on September 19th, 2020.
Make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Thank you very much. Is that it?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, approval of meeting minutes, December 9th work session.
I have to abstain.
Okay.
I move we approve the minutes from December 9th.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
You got Bill abstaining?
Mhm.
Councilman Gavin, okay. So moved. Audit payment, Councilman Bax.
Make a motion to approve the regular abstract of claims number 3,475 to 3,695, and recommend the payment in the amount of $766,895.84, plus a post audit of $18,742.89.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? So moved. Old business, roof bids, pavilions, Tim Masters. Everybody's got that letter I put up there. Go ahead.
On November 26th, I sent out an email to the town board explaining what we got, received back for roof bids. The building department put out 8 bids, requests for bid on 2 pavilions at the 2 parks. We had a return date on the bid package that said we need responses back by November 13th. We only got 1 response back, which was on November 12th by Swoger Construction. That was for $25,300. And on the 14th, we got one back from Fiddler Roofing. They have the wrong square footage on their bid. I sent back to them, told them their bid was wrong. They resubmitted on November 22nd, and their rebid was $22,400. Those are the only 2 bids that we received. Swoger's was the only one that came in on time, by the date, and had the correct information on it. And the other reason why I'm recommending we go to Swoger is Swoger's price was out there prior to them resubmitting their corrected quotations on the 22nd. So in my opinion, Schroeder's was the only responsible valid bid.
Would you agree with that, Tom?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that it also falls into a similar category we just discussed with Mr. Dashnow, so it brings it before the board if there's compelling reason, which I would agree that there is one, for you to choose. In this scenario, there's, multiple steps. There's also the fact that the second bidder didn't comply with the requirements of the bid. So really, there's only one on there.
Yeah.
For you to consider. But nevertheless, it should be brought before the board, and the motion should be made by the board to approve that first bid that came in, given the fact that it is slightly higher than the other one.
Okay. So can I get a motion to accept the bid from Schroeder Construction Incorporated
So moved.
for $25,300? We have a motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And just so you know, that is more than just shingles.
Yeah.
They're replacing the
Right.
tongue and groove decking and so on and so forth.
Right.
And the only other thing I'd ask for, although it wasn't brought up as part of the motion, is that I'll put together the contract for that. That'll include the purchase order and the contract for the small public work.
Right, and the only other concern was one of the facilities is at Washuta Park, which we do not own. I spoke with Mike McInerney, who happens to be here tonight. We're gonna renew the lease, and we'll have a lease, and no work will be done on that structure until our lease is in hand, and that's something we talked about as well.
Right.
So,
So what I guess for that motion, you could make a contingent on the lease being updated and signed by all parties. Once the lease is updated and signed by all parties, then the work could proceed.
okay, but that would be only on the half of Washuta Park, which is $12,450. So I'll amend the motion to award Swoger Construction, Pletcher Road Park at $12,850 and Washuta Park at $12,450 on a completed lease agreement with Modern.
And also, if you could add, for the attorney to prepare the contracts for both of those.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
And this will be flooded from age 61.
Yes, age 61. Thank you very much. Nothing pending. New business, residents, public correspondence.
Let me read it into the record.
Sure.
Dear Honorable Town Board, this is from Tom and Becky Adams, Lower River Road. We are considering the purchase of a building located at 5235 Lewiston Road. The building is currently a church. It is our desire to purchase the building and after some renovations and reconfiguring, open the building as a meeting and learning facility. The property is currently zoned R1, one-family residential, and in order to operate as a meeting and learning facility, it would need to be zoned B for general business. We believe there will be many benefits from creating a meeting facility. It will create tax revenue, something that doesn't currently happen because the church is tax exempt. It will be a place where businesses and people in the community can go to meet and learn new things in the form of classes, speakers, series, and more. We feel there is no significant difference or harm to the surrounding residents, church, and school. We moved to Lewiston over 2 years ago. We love our new town and are anxious to exercise our
Entrepreneurial.
spirit by creating a great facility where individuals and businesses can come for off-site meetings and educational events. We are asking for your support in allowing our zoning change request.
Okay. And after talking to our attorney and all that, what we're gonna do is just read this into the minutes, and at this time, we're gonna take no action one way or another. It's something that the board will have to consider, but, are the Adams here? Yes. Obviously, there'll have to be more action taken or prepared on your part to go the next step, but we wanted to read it into the minutes tonight, so there's gonna be no action taken.
Would a zoning change come right to us, or does it go to the zoning board first?
Well,
It goes to you guys first.
yeah.
Us first.
Doesn't go to the zoning board, it goes to the planning board.
To the
Yeah.
planning board.
It's it's a change of your public law essentially. It would require a hearing.
And a public notice.
Everybody,
Yeah.
secret analysis, but it is a local law change. Additionally, I would just make the comment that as of right now, this letter is coming from someone that doesn't own the property. They don't have any property rights in that property yet, so I understand that they're moving forward, they're considering some plans, but usually for the board to really move forward with the multiple steps that need to excuse me, to happen with regard to the zoning change, at minimum, they're gonna need to have a letter from the current property owner authorizing them to proceed on their behalf, or something along those lines.
Like a memorandum of understanding.
Something along those
Mhm.
lines, yeah.
Okay.
But
Understood.
ultimately, the process would, like I said, require notice, public hearing, seeker, the town board would make all of the actions on it, though. It
Okay.
takes a while.
Thank you very much. No action will be taken. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Adams.
Can you just inquire, is there any business plans or any other documents that you could provide the town board that would kind of flesh out the concept?
We can, yes, absolutely.
I think that in the conversation with the current owner would be helpful.
That probably should be done in executive session,
Yeah.
shouldn't it?
To be honest with you, I think a lot of the conversation could happen between the supervisor and
Sure.
Mr. and Mrs. Adams
Yeah.
through the course of normal business to try to help the board and the supervisor get up to speed with what their plans are, what's going on, things along those lines.
Good. Thank you. So set public information for the town park, under my liaison report. I was looking at January 28th. Jeanette was off for the holidays and still not back to work. So tentatively, unless there's a conflict, and we'll notify the Sentinel and whoever and put it on our webpage. January 28th at 7 p.m. at the Senior Center. And again, that's just, I gotta confirm that with Jeanette, but that's the date I was looking at. I know Mike Dashino told me there was a week in February he wasn't gonna be here. So, January 20th at 7 p.m. and that's, like I said, it's still up in the air. The legal privilege of the floor.
So I've prepared and circulated for the board members, a set of rules essentially to establish the way and mechanisms in which the citizens can speak to the town board and at what time. It just sets forward the rules. I think you've all seen them. I think there's been an opportunity. I circulated it a couple of weeks ago, but essentially it would be a policy. It's not a town law or anything. It's just a policy that the board has adopted that wished relative to how public comment and privilege of the floor flows. So I think you've seen it. If you have any questions for me with regard to what I've prepared, I'd be certainly happy to answer them.
I think it's very helpful. I think ultimately, once we agree on a final version of it, it should be on the website.
So correct. It should be on the website. I would say make copies of it.
Have them as handouts in the back, for sure.
Yeah. So take no action tonight on it or move forward with it?
It's really, I would say it's a policy that you guys can enact. You can enact tonight or you can enact it whenever you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's subject to amendment as we go on.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's not nothing that we're stuck with.
It's guidelines, it's really guidelines and a policy that.
Yeah.
So I would make
the
a
board wishes to receive public comment.
I would make a motion that we accept this particular privilege of the floor policy and procedure, that it be placed on the town board website and be available at town board meetings, subject to further modification of the town board, the attorney for the town.
Motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Second, discussion?
Short discussion. I talked to Thomas earlier today. If there is such a case where someone is being very disruptive, probably the best thing to do is simply take a recess, stop the board meeting. We all leave until everything is settled down, then come back in, because you can't let some of that dialogue go on the tape and into the minutes when it is so inappropriate.
Yeah.
One case that I was thinking of was
Right.
horribly out of line.
Yes. And that's the only real incident since I've been here going on, this is almost basically 4 years. There was only one incident that we absolutely stopped the speaker from speaking. We didn't have to remove him or anything, so I agree. So, any other concerns or comments?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we already revised it,
Okay.
so a revised, yeah, so.
That is taken.
Yes, yes. So, we have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, thank you, Tom. Okay, so health coverage for
Sorry,
non,
executive session.
pardon?
That was the executive session, right?
Yes, but I just wanted to bring it up, health coverage, non-union employees, we have a situation where we have non-union workers that are in the Teamsters healthcare. We've received a letter from the Teamsters advising that as of February 1st, they're no longer welcome to be in that healthcare, and that's about all I need to say, and
Yeah.
we'll go into executive session. and-
Yeah, essentially, the town has a different healthcare provider for town employees that aren't under the Teamsters health insurance, so, for the group that's the non-bargaining group, the town's gonna need to make a determination as to where they're going to be, under which provider they're going to be insured with, now that they're no longer going to be able to be insured under the Teamsters group. I would recommend that you choose the same provider as Univera that has the other members of the town already. And I think we just need a town motion at some point, but we can go into executive session to discuss it further.
Excellent. Engineering.
Two things that brings to the board's attention. The electrical contract has been rebid for the police and parks building. That was advertised, and that opens up on January 22nd, as well as the water line is on the street as well. That advertised on the 16th of December. That also opens on the 22nd of January, both with a target of being able to recommend award on what I believe will be the regular town board meeting of January 27th. I have my date.
27th, not both.
22nd.
The 22nd to open, and then it'll give us a few days to canvass the bids and review them and provide a letter of recommendation in anticipation of award on the 27th.
How soon would work commence after that?
Usually takes typically within about 30 days, 25 year bonds and the execution in order to proceed. So in about 30 days roughly, usually no longer.
We should get an occupancy on that police building pretty soon then.
The police building needs a floor.
Oh,
And the weather, they did not take advantage of the weather when they could have, even though it was really nice out today, but it has to be above freezing for about a week.
Yeah.
For that floor, you don't want something hard to the floor, so it's likely that that will be poured in the spring. You won't get occupancy on the building until the electrical work is done anyway.
Yeah.
So we're both kinda heading toward the same endpoint.
spring.
Very good looking building too,
It is.
so. Okay, thank you. Finance, budget revisions. Jackie.
Tonight I have 5 budget revisions to review. First one is in recreation, requesting to move a total of $13,665 from the recreation contractual budget to the recreation equipment budget to cover a couple pieces of equipment purchase.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried.
The second one is in the police department, requesting to move a total of $9,455 from the regular police personnel budget over to the police personnel SRO Wheatfield personnel budget. This is to cover the expenses of the SRO through the year. We are completely reimbursed, but this is to cover the expense side of it.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The third budget revision is in the Parks Department, moving a total of $10,931 from the Parks personnel budget to the Parks equipment budget to cover the purchase of 2 trailers.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The fourth budget revision is requesting to move a total of $40,900 from the sewer treatment and disposal equipment budget, with $3,400 of that going to the sewer treatment and disposal gas and electric budget, $7,500 of that going to the sewer administration contractual budget, and $30,000 of that going to the sewer treatment and disposal contractual budget. Cover a few current deficits and the remainder of the expenses through the rest of the 2019 invoice.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The last budget revision is a correction from the prior meeting's budget revision that was approved. The $20,408 to cover the software in the water department. Taking that from the transmission and distribution side of the water department over to the water administration equipment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The last thing I have is for the board to approve the outstanding purchase order report for the end of the fiscal year 2019.
There's nothing unusual about it.
No, not at all.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you. Councilman Bax.
I have two quick agreement approvals. I make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the 2020 annual sewer use agreement for the wastewater treatment plant. It's just standard procedure.
Motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And then secondly, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the 2020 annual leachate agreement with Modern.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Discussion. I know, Tom, you looked at it, you worked with Jeff and looked at it.
Yeah, I reviewed both of those contracts, and they basically mirror what we've had in years past, other than slight modifications with regard to dates, basically.
Okay. So we have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you. Councilman Guyven?
Just two things. I want to compliment the Rec and Parks Department for the ice skating rink. My granddaughters have been there often. They just love it. They appreciate it when the weather cooperates and it's not too cold and not too warm. And I also want to say it's been a pleasure working with Rob. I'm going to miss you, and I know your number. So, and again, any complaints about how bright the new streetlights are? We'll direct them all there.
That's great.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Councilman Jacoby?
I attended the planning board meeting, and Modern came and they are, get this straight, they're making an expansion of their existing compressed natural gas station. The planning board recommends that we issue a negative deck, and I looked it over, and I think we should, so I move that we do that.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then I'd also like to move that we do a simple approval of the project.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any questions? All in favor?
I was at the meeting if you want to.
Mr. Conrad.
Yeah.
Just for the record, it's basically gonna fuel their vehicles
Yes.
with
Mhm.
natural gas versus the diesel.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of actually a decrease and a little bit cleaner operation.
It's inside the fence that they already occupy. It's not an
Right, it's an
expansion.
extension of their existing
Yeah.
system.
And I'm making that an oversimplification. I came to the meeting and there were many questions by our fire people, Pat Martin in particular. The board itself had many questions and they were all answered. Modern didn't, try to duck any of the questions. But it seemed so straightforward that kind of minimized it.
Yeah.
And just as an additional issue, I've had some conversations with Modern also, and they've expressed that they would be interested in kind of revisiting something that we had proposed years and years ago, whereby if the town were to acquire any natural gas vehicles, that we could do a sharing agreement with them where we could use their facility to fill up.
Okay, great.
So that should be something that we should look into in the future too, with our police vehicles, et cetera. Significant savings there.
Okay, good. So we have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
One other thing I have is, I too would like to thank Rob Morial. As many people know, was Rob who suggested I run. And if you've heard me say anything that sounded intelligent, it was under his influence. I really like to thank him.
All right.
That's all I got.
And John's gonna encourage him to run when John runs, to get him out, so John can get out of here.
That was what I was gonna do.
Okay, Councilman Morial, anything?
I don't have nothing as far as liaison report, but boy, 4 years went by quick. It seems like yesterday. I've got asked to run many a times, and I kept using my kids as an excuse. My son played hockey, my daughter played softball. I says, no, I'm not interested. I like to go to my kids' games. And then my son also had football, baseball, so it kept me tied up. Well, she come up to me, she goes, well, your kid's been out of college for 5 years now. Give me another excuse. So I agreed to run, but I come home and told my wife, I says, I'm gonna run for office, but I won't do anything to win. So I didn't. Come election night, and ends up that I end up winning. And then I just looked at my wife, I says, now what do I do? But it worked out well. You know, we made a lot of friends, this board. This was a working board. I think what we've done in 4 years it's actually unbelievable. We straightened the town's finances out, equipment. I could go on, but what we did is unparalleled, I think, to past boards. But I hope they keep up the good work, which I'm sure they will.
Well, I appreciate everything. It's always nice when somebody on the other side, Democrat, Republican, does the work and agrees with you after looking into something. So we've had 2 4-to-1 votes here. Other than that, everything's been 100% one way or the other. And the 1 4-to-1 vote was just a principal vote. So we've really only had 1 non-unanimous vote. So I appreciate everything you've done, and like you said, we have a friendship. I know where you work, so we'll have coffee some more.
But
so
this guy to my right, he's the glue. I mean, for this board, he puts a lot. He should be a fireman, because boy, does he put out a lot of fires.
No,
God bless.
we're good with that.
Yeah.
Rob, I didn't get a chance to say anything during my liaison report, but I want to kind of chime in and just say that a lot of the successes, a lot of the progress that you point to had a lot to do with you, and a lot to do with the fact that you know, this is a working board. We're all friends here. We all have the same town. We all have the same goal, which is just to better the community we live in. And you really kind of personify that, not only as a friend, but also as you know, an elected official. So I want to say you did a wonderful job, and you know, your example to me is one that I will try to uphold.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Another gentleman. So now we move on to resident statements, and nobody signed up again. Would anybody like to speak? Mrs. Morial, would you like to speak? No.
If he gets on your nerves because he's hanging around a lot.
Yeah, we got some jobs for him.
Yeah.
So he's not home enough anyhow, even before he came into the town working.
We got one.
He's not home enough to get into my nerves.
Oh, Jason Myers, our next board member.
Jason Myers, Griffin Street, Sanborn. Rob, thanks for all your work, and thanks for being so cordial. And
I got some things for you, so
appreciate it.
keep you busy.
And happy birthday to Mr. Guyman there.
I'm sorry, Mr. Guyman's birthday today. I'm sorry. I forgot all this. We did a lot of, yeah. Should we sing?
No.
Okay.
Where's the cake?
Yeah. Real quick, before we get to going to executive session, upcoming boards, commission, and meetings. The town offices are going to be closed January 1st, which is Wednesday, New Year's Day. Town board reorganization meeting is a week from tonight on January 6th. And as a result, we will not have our work session on the 13th. That will be a reorg meeting and work session on January 6th, none on the 13th. Zoning Board of Appeals is January 9th at 6:30 p.m. Environmental Commission, January 14th at 7 p.m. Planning Board, January 16th at 6:30 p.m. Historic Preservation on January 21st at 6 p.m. And our regular town board meeting will be on January 27th at 6 p.m. And with that, I would ask for a motion to go to executive session, which I would also like to extend a, yes.
Could you change the historical preservation to the January 14th at 6?
January 14th at 6 p.m.
Don't you go out of town, John.
I will.
January 14th. And, I want to invite Jason Myers into executive session because he will be on the board ultimately, possibly when we have some more issues with the union negotiations. So I would ask for a motion to move to executive session for union
Go
negotiations.
ahead, Rob.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everybody. We are going to be taking action when we come out of executive session, so anybody who would like to stay can, but I don't blame you if you don't.